Welcome to this video on the AI apocalypse and the $550,000 reset. Today we'll explore how to pivot when your digital career collapses, especially as generative AI automates specialized work like graphic design. We will focus on leveraging financial stability, de-risking relocations, rebranding your experience, and targeting stable employment paths. We'll move step by step with practical strategies and clear checkpoints so you can make a confident transition while supporting family needs. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll set the reality check of AI displacement and clarify your true advantage. Next, we'll define the $550,000 reset, why financial stability is the core asset. Then we'll compare rural living with capital city proximity for wages and opportunities. After that, we'll walk through a 12-month de-risking plan. We'll continue by rebranding your professional identity, and then we'll target employment paths including government and verified local labor roles. We'll reinforce learning with short quizzes, and finally, we'll summarize next steps. Let's begin with a reality check. Generative AI has displaced many specialized roles, including graphic design. However, your advantage is not your outdated portfolio. It's your financial stability. Low or zero debt and meaningful savings or equity, combined with operational skills accrued over a decade of running a profitable business. Those skills include budgeting, forecasting, marketing, client relations, and operational efficiency. These are still highly valuable, particularly to rural businesses and development agencies struggling to find reliable administrative and management talent. Now, let's define the $550,000 reset. Whether your number is $250K, $550K, or $1M, the principle holds. Your capital is a runway. It is not for status or nostalgia. Use it to buy time and optionality. Prioritize cash flow resilience, covering expenses with margin, over clinging to a dead portfolio. Sequence your moves. First, stabilize your monthly burn, then test the new job market, and only after validation should you commit capital. Maintain a reserve for unexpected expenses like health surprises, vehicle issues, or urgent family needs. This disciplined approach transforms uncertainty into manageable risk. This mind map centers on financial runway. One branch itemizes costs such as housing, utilities, transport, and health. Another enumerates income sources, a primary job, side contracts, and any passive dividends. A third branch addresses risk controls like an emergency fund, insurance, and keeping several buffer months of expenses. The final branch lists pivotal decisions, whether to rent or buy, testing the commute, and validating the local job market. Together, these branches help you visualize how Runway supports a low-risk pivot. Let's compare rural regions with capital city proximity. Rural areas offer lower rent and utility costs, plus a calmer lifestyle, but they often have fewer diverse high-wage positions. That said, labor shortages can lift wages in certain roles. Verification is essential. Confirm pay, benefits, and the real schedule. Capitals offer thicker job markets and more stable operations roles, albeit with higher living costs and commutes. The edge in capital regions is often government and state positions with strong benefits. A 30 to 40-minute commute can be a worthwhile trade-off for stability and compensation. This table offers a rough monthly cost snapshot. Rural housing may range from $900 to $1,200, while capital city costs can range from $1,600 to $2,300. Utilities can be lower in rural areas. Commute costs vary, with capital city travel often more expensive. Internet and phone may also be slightly higher in capitals. Health and insurance vary widely and should be verified directly. Here is a 12-month de-risking plan. First, freeze major decisions and audit expenses to understand your runway. Next, rent in the target area rather than buying. Then, test the commute to the capital region and log the cost and time. In parallel, validate the job market by applying to government and administrative roles and meeting local economic development agencies. Trial verified labor roles to confirm pay and benefits. Rebrand your materials to present yourself as a business operator. Build a local network through chambers of commerce and development organizations. By month 6 to 9, select a path based on real offers. Finally, only consider buying property after validation. Throughout, protect your emergency fund and insurance, and avoid rushing big changes. This timeline visualizes the de-risking plan across 12 months. We begin with an audit and decision freeze, proceed to renting, conduct a commute test, validate the market, and then trial rolls. We rebrand and network during the middle period, decide on the path around month 6 to 9, and only consider buying between months 9 and 12 after proper validation. Rebranding is crucial. You are not merely a designer with outdated skills. You are a seasoned business operator who has managed profit and loss, led client relationships, executed marketing, and optimized operations. Shift your narrative from technical execution to operational leadership. This reframing results in higher perceived reliability and a better fit for administrative, managerial, and development roles. Translate your prior business skills into local outcomes. Financial management can become budgeting and grant compliance for local organizations. Marketing translates to tourism campaigns and small business outreach. Client relations transfers to vendor management and stakeholder trust. Operational efficiency becomes process documentation, standard operating procedures, and KPI dashboards. As a bonus, you can introduce simple AI tools to raise team productivity, which is valued even in traditional environments. This flowchart evaluates return on investment from commuting. Starting with available offers, we assess compensation, benefits, stability, and commute time. If the capital region offer scores higher and the commute is 40 minutes or less, it recommends acceptance. If a verified local offer meets compensation and benefits thresholds, it recommends taking that. Otherwise, it loops back to continue searching, using insights gained to refine the approach. Quiz time. What is the safest first housing move when testing a new region for caregiving and work? Option A. Buy a manufactured home immediately to lock low costs. Option B. Rent for a year to test commute and job market. Option C. Sell all assets and move with no plan. Option D. Sign a 5-year lease to get a discount. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to rent for a year to test the commute and job market. Renting preserves capital, allows you to validate assumptions, and avoids being locked into an unfamiliar market. Consider employment paths that justify a commute. Government and state roles offer stability, benefits, and sometimes pensions. Economic development agencies manage grants and support small businesses, making your operational experience valuable. Healthcare administration and education operations often have durable funding. Verified labor jobs, such as road crews and utilities, can pay competitively in rural areas with labor shortages. Always confirm wage and benefits. For side income, consider micro-agency work, local marketing retainers, or grant writing. This pie chart suggests a sample allocation of your monthly budget during transition. Housing could be around 35%, essentials such as food and utilities about 25%, transport at 10%, health and insurance at 10%. Maintain a savings buffer at 15%, and commit 5% to upskilling and networking. Adjust based on your actual numbers. Second quiz. What is the most effective way to rebrand your identity in this pivot? Option A. Present as a former designer hoping to relearn tools. Option B. Position as a seasoned business operator with profit and loss, clients, and operations achievements. Option C. Hide your past and start from entry-level retail. Option D. Focus only on creative portfolio pieces. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section. The correct answer is to position yourself as a seasoned business operator with profit and loss, clients, and operations achievements. This approach highlights durable capabilities that employers in both rural and capital regions value and trust. Here is a quick Markdown toolkit you can adapt for your resume and outreach. Start with a results-first resume, listing operational wins, budget responsibility, and process improvements. Prepare interview one-liners that translate business goals into financial discipline and reliable execution. Use a targeted networking ask focused on grants, vendor management, or process streamlining. Let's clarify common myths. First, your decade of experience is not worthless. It is a management toolkit employers need. Second, avoid rushing to buy, rent, and validate first. Third, rural does not always mean low pay. Shortages can lift wages. but verification is essential. Finally, a portfolio is not everything. Cash flow and runway drive successful pivots. To summarize, lead with financial stability and a measured runway. Rent first and validate both commute and job market before buying. Rebrand yourself as a business operator rather than a displaced creative. Target government roles, development agencies, and verified labor positions. In doing so, you preserve family proximity while maintaining financial solvency. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or career advice. Verify all job compensation, benefits, housing decisions, and commute details for your specific situation. Consult qualified professionals where appropriate. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Share your pivot plan or questions in the comments so we can iterate together.